Okay, today we're going to talk about. Okay, today we're going to talk about one of the most contagious things that is known to humankind. Yes, very exciting, right? But before all that, let's take a few moments to worship the Supreme One, the infinitely compassionate One, Sublime One, the Supreme Buddha. To do this, can you all be upstanding and recite the Namaskar with me? Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, you can now all be seated. So what's the answer to my question? What is the most contagious thing known to humankind? Is it this COVID-19? No, I know something that's way more contagious than the COVID. SARS. No, more contagious. Like throughout our history, we had a lot of diseases, right? I remember things like Ebola, bird flu, swine flu. I remember learning in history something that happened in, I think, a lot of the world. The Black Death, killing millions and millions of people. But I'm not talking about things that can kill you. I'm talking about the most contagious thing known to humans. What is it? And it's something that you and I both have. Wait, don't be scared. It's not going to kill you. But what is it? I have a strong feeling that you're doing it right now. What is it? Smiles. Smiling is one of the most contagious things known to humankind. Think about it. You and I always smile. Don't we? Because when we feel joy, when we feel happiness, that's something that appears on our face. We smile. You see, I remember back when I was in primary school or lower school, wherever you are, right? So when I was around 9, 10, 11 years old, I remember learning from school that smiles were contagious. And I thought, no, that can't be possible. That my smile can make someone else smile? And so what I decided was, my journey back to home, I decided I was going to smile to as many people as possibly could. So I remember, right? So imagine a 9, 10, 11-year-old. Here I got out of school, and I remember turning back and smiling at my teacher. And she smiled back. And I thought, okay, teachers, they are meant to smile. They're obviously going to smile. But that doesn't prove it's contagious, does it? And then I went to my group of friends and I smiled. And obviously all of them smiled back. Okay, so they were friends. That doesn't mean smiles are contagious. They always smile. Then I went outside the school gate and I saw my best friend's parents. I smiled at them, and guess what? No way, they smiled back. Oh, my friend's parents, they always smile when I smile, so that doesn't prove it's contagious, right? And then I remember it was me and my sister, right, my little sister. We were walking back from school. And then I remember we went past a row of houses. And I remember that moment, I looked up and I saw a stranger. A person that I didn't even know. And I've never seen him, and I don't think he's ever seen me either. I looked at him and smiled. And this person smiled back. And I thought, okay, strange. Maybe it could be contagious, but I wasn't ready to accept it yet. I had to test it a couple of times more, and then we'll see if it works. There was a shop near our house. I went past the shop, I looked at the shopkeeper and smiled, and the shopkeeper smiled back. Okay, maybe it is contagious. And throughout the journey home, I smiled at as many people as I possibly could. And I found out they smiled back. Now, I was very interested. Why is that? Why do they smile back? So I remember going and asking teachers, and because I was like very young, they used to say it's just because it's like that. Humans are hardwired to smile when other people smile. Okay. So I accepted it. I accepted the theory that smiles are contagious. And so from that day onwards, I smiled whenever I possibly could. You see, don't you like smiling? I know for me, I love smiling. Like we all know, right? Smiles are things that we do when we feel joy, when we feel pleasure, when we're happy. And we know it releases hormones called endorphins and stuff like that. Or these are called the feel-good hormones, right? And we know that when you smile, you physically and mentally feel better. Right? But they say that, I remember like researching like a couple of years back, like why it's contagious. And then I remember an article saying that humans are very good at mimicry. And so when I smile, people smile back because they mimic. That's why when you smile at children, like very young children, toddlers, they try to mimic your smile. And of course, they look very cute doing it, but they try to mimic it. But then, to be honest, I don't think that is the entire reason. I actually don't think that's the entire reason, that humans smile back because they want to mimic your smile. To be honest, I feel that smiles are contagious because people like seeing other people smile. Not because it's just a smile, it's because people enjoy seeing other people feel happy. Now, we all know, right? Laughter is a very good medicine. Right? We know laughing is a cure for some illnesses. But obviously you're not laughing like the Joker, right? Incontrollable laughing. I mean, normal laughter, when you feel happy, when someone makes a joke, that laughter is a really good medicine. So does that mean that happiness is a medicine as well? Happiness can medicate illnesses? You see, if you think that happiness can help others, then why don't we? So, if you remember, last time we talked about problems, right? How life is a collection of problems. That every single moment we experience, there is some sort of problem in our life. You see, today, I'm inviting you to put that aside for a moment. Put all your problems aside for a moment. Because even though you're experiencing problems, some people aren't experiencing that problem. You see, I'm inviting you all for a moment to let your problems not show to others. See, we want to spread our smiles. We want to spread happiness. I don't know about you, but I want not just myself, but everyone to be happy. Everyone around me to be happy. Because if you've seen this before, if you tried, right? When you smile, everyone around you smiles. The entire environment around you changes. Like I remember Bruno Mars once said, right? When you smile, the whole world stops and stares for a while. The entire world can change by your smile. Because your smile can make other people smile as well. You can change the environment. So, if you have a problem, any sort of problem, just take a moment and put that aside and smile. And smile and smile and smile. Spread your smiles. Make sure the other person doesn't know the problem you are facing. Because I know when we have problems, when we are under stress, when something bad happens in our life, we become snappy, we become rude. Because the problem changes us. But I'm saying, stop. Before you snap, stop. Before you become rude, stop. Your mood shouldn't affect someone else. What you're feeling right now shouldn't affect someone else. Because if you want to be happy, then doesn't everyone else in this world want to be happy as well? Because you and I and everyone is human. We all want to be happy. So why does your mood have to change someone else? Just because something bad happened to you doesn't mean something bad has to happen to someone else. Just because you didn't pass an exam doesn't mean you should snap at someone else so they feel bad as well. So when you feel something, I'm inviting you to not to snap, not to be rude, but instead make sure the other person doesn't even realize you are experiencing problems. Keep that plaster, that smile on your face, and make sure it's a genuine smile. Because I know for once that if you fake a smile, a genuine smile, So not like, those fake smiles. Like, you smile genuinely, even though there's nothing there to smile about. Inside, you feel happy because our body realizes that we're smiling, and therefore we've already made the link, right, between smiling and happiness. So when we smile, we're happy. When we're happy, we smile. So even if you fake a genuine smile, you'll be happy. So other people have problems, we know that. We have problems, we know that. But we shouldn't show our problems to others if they don't need to know. Just because you are having a moody day, because you're having a bad day, doesn't mean that others should have the same. That doesn't mean others should be moody as well. So have a genuine smile on your face, no matter what. Make sure your smile spreads to everyone. Just imagine, one day, your smile spreads throughout the entire world and everyone smiles. For a moment. I don't know about you, but I know as a fact that I would like everyone to smile. That I would want everyone to be happy for at least one moment. We've always been told, right? A person who smiles a lot it's a likable person. Just think about it. Look at the people around you that you associate at school, at work, at college, at wherever you are. Look at the people around you. There will obviously, because people are unique, there'll be different people with different personalities and different everything, right? Just take a moment and look and see what reactions they get when they live life. So what I mean is, like, I remember I had a friend who smiles 24/7. I've never seen him frown. Maybe once or twice, but let's forget about this. But he smiles most of the time. And I remember really enjoying his association. Because he smiles all the time. It made me feel happy. And then I remember I had a friend who most of the time he didn't have a smile. He was a pretty pretty gloomy. Well, he had very few emotions. Pretty much on his face you can just see a frown. A frown. Like that's all you could see. And there was only a specific. I remember, he only had a couple of people who enjoyed being with him. Like, he was very interesting. Very interesting. I enjoyed talking with him and stuff like that, but I would enjoy a person who smiled more. Their association is more pleasant. And if that is so if I feel that means other people also feel that as well. Think about it, right? Think about those friends that have really short tempers. That something wrong happens and you've literally set off a bomb, and they start exploding and shouting and screaming. They go in a tantrum. Those people you have to be very careful with those people. You don't want them to be angry. You see, but the person who's happy, people enjoy being in their presence. So what does that mean? If you smile, people around you smile. People like smiling, so they could tend to come near you. Like we've all heard about the law of attraction, right? That like things attract, right? That if two things are similar, they usually attract each other, right? So if you smile a lot, the people who come near you obviously will be people who like smiling, people who smile a lot as well, people who are funny, people who are nice. If you normally are very gloomy, sad, and and you don't smile as much, people you attract will be similar to you. People with short temper, people who are also gloomy, are also sad. So decide, who do you want as your friends, and how do you want your friends to see you? Because think about it. If you want a friend like that, a friend that smiles, that means the friend also, your other friends will also want a friend like that as well. So why don't you change? You change and smile. And see what difference it makes. See what difference it makes. It will definitely make a massive difference in your life. Just a small smile can make a difference. Not just in yours, but in everyone's life. And the best part is, it's free. It's absolutely free. Because if someone paid me £1 for every time I smiled, or every time I made someone else smile, right now, I would not even be a billionaire, not even a quintillionaire. I would have literally enough money to buy the entire universe. But smiles are free. Smiles are absolutely free. You're not wasting money. You're not wasting energy. You're not wasting time. Just smile. Just smile. Because when you smile, everyone around you smiles. You see, when you smile, you become a likable person. When you become a likable person, people tend to listen to what you want to say. So for anyone out there who think, you know what, no one cares about what I say. No, like whenever I say something, it's always brushed or swept to a corner under the bed. They don't care. Now, when something like that happens, the first thing we do is we blame everyone. We go and say, it's because of her, him, them, and you, and all this, that they're not listening to me. Because what I say is not important because they think they're more important. No. The one person to blame is yourself. If someone doesn't listen to you, then why? Maybe it's because you don't smile a lot. See, someone who smiles a lot has a likable personality. If they have a likable personality, that means people enjoy listening to them. Enjoy listening to their ideas. He's able to make a lot of friends, influence others. So, I remember, right? We learned about an experiment that they used to do, I think, back in the 1900s. with a psychologist called Skinner. So he wanted to see how to make someone do things, how he's able to do it. And so, as an experiment, he decided to take, unfortunately, there wasn't any animal rights back in those times, and so he decided to experiment on mice. So what he did was, he wanted to see how, if he can teach a mouse, if you can teach a mouse to hit a lever. That was his aim, right? Just to pull a lever. And so what he did was, he put these two mice into a cage, and one of them, every time he pulled a lever, or it pulled a lever, it gave out a food pellet, and this mouse took this food pellet and ate it. And every time it wanted food, it would pull the lever. Soon it learned very quickly that pulling a lever made food come out, and so it decided to pull the lever whenever it was hungry. Now the other mouse. The other mouse didn't want food. It was a pretty satisfied, full, and it was sleepy mouse, right? And so it didn't pull the lever, and so it didn't get any food. So what they did was, they decided to pass electricity through the floor of the cage. So they literally electrocuted the floor, and because the mouse was on the floor, the electricity passed through it as well. And so the moment it felt electricity, this mouse was running throughout this cage, jumping onto the walls and all this, and then finally it hit the lever. The moment it hit the lever, the electricity stopped. The moment it hit the lever, the electricity stopped. And so the mouse again went back onto the floor and tried to doze off again. The moment it tried to close its eyes, again they passed electricity. Again this mouse started jumping onto the walls, trying to escape it all, and then found the lever and pulled the lever again, and again the electricity stopped. You see, there are two ways to make someone do things. You can do it the positive way or the negative way. See, when you do the positive way, this mouse, right, the one who was given food for every time he pulled the lever, learned it and was willing to pull the lever whenever it needed food. It learned it very quickly, number one. Number two, it did it out of its own free will. There's nothing forcing it to do it. But then when you do it negatively, you're instilling fear. You're hurting. And therefore, this mouse is now having to find the lever. And once it pulls the lever, it knows this is the only way I can escape from all this pain. And pulls the lever. So this mouse is currently constantly in fear. Because it knows when it lets go of this lever, now there's a chance that the electricity will be back. It's always in fear. Now, you see, that's exactly the same thing with humans. So, with humans, if someone does something and you positively reward them, they are more likely to willingly do it again. So I remember, right, especially in primary school, we had something called golden time, right? Basically, I think it was on Friday, we had, I think, an hour of golden time, which basically is the time where you could do anything, whether it was play outside on the astro, or whether go on the computers, play with puzzles of some sort. So that used to be a time which every child liked. And so everyone wanted this golden time. Right? So they'll do anything to get this. To keep their golden time. And so you can imagine the moment the teacher says, if you do this, I'm gonna have to take away 15 minutes of your golden time. Children wouldn't do it. Because they like to be appreciated. They like to have things like that. But when you do something negative, when you give them punishment, go stand in a corner, go to the headmasters, you're going to have detention, you're fired. Now this mouse or this human will now work constantly to do things to get rid of the pain. So, if someone around you is always smiling, we tend to like to be near them. And so, no matter what they say, we have the tendency to do what they say. Because why? Because we feel rewarded. Because they smile, they say thank you. Think about it, they do smile, right? A lot. And usually people who smile a lot, people who are nice, who have a kind heart, will thank you, will compliment you, and so we feel rewarded. But say there's one person who has power because of the fear they have. The fear that they instill into you. So for example, there's always those people in school or at work who is very popular. And so everyone wants to be with him or her. But then when you don't do something that they want you to do, they threaten you by saying, you know what, if you don't do this, we're not going to be friends. If you don't do this, something's going to happen to you. They threaten you. And now you only do it out of fear. So choose. What sort of person do you want to be? Someone who instills fear into other people, or someone who can make people do things out of their own free will? It's your choice. So smile. And smile. And smile. Be happy. And make others happy. I remember someone telling me, right, a famous quote, that there's a need for love and compassion more than there's a need of bread. It may sound silly, right? Love and compassion and bread, how do they match? But people obviously need bread to survive. But people need love and compassion more. I remember someone telling me, I'm not sure if it's 100% true, but I remember someone telling me a lot of people who are evil, bad, are people who didn't have a lot of love and compassion in their lives. Who had a lot of that taken away from them. Because we humans love to be appreciated. That is something that is that's something that's literally hardwired far, far deep down in us. The want for praise, the want for love. And so pretty much humans crave for it. I don't know about you, but I remember I did a lot of things just so my teacher can tell me, well done. Homework. I remember once I did a homework. I did more than what the teacher asked, so I can I can be praised by her. I can get a well done, a pat on the back. Think about it. We do a lot of things just for praise. Whether it's by teachers, whether it's by parents, whether it's by friends. Do you not see that can have a negative outcome as well? The want for praise. It can be positive. Obviously, it can be very positive. So, for example, you clean your room and your parents praise you and say, oh my God, you are the best son, daughter ever. I love you so much. Saying that, this child feels the need to do it again because they love that praise. Right? This can be used for the good, in a good way and a bad way as well. So make sure you use this wisely, right? So you could make your siblings do things that you want them if you praise them. But this is genuine praise, right? But don't use it all the time, or it's going to ruin it. But praise. People want praise, and so if your parents tell you that, then you want to clean your room again. If you do some work and you do very well, and see, teachers would praise you for things that you do well. So say you get 85% in a test, and your normal average is 50%. Your teacher will praise you, and then you feel good. And you feel like, you know what, I'm going to work harder next time and try to get better so I can get more praise. I can be appreciated more. Right? So, if we want to be appreciated more, right, by teachers, by parents, we also want to be appreciated more by friends. That's why we may do a lot of things. So your friends can choose whether they can appreciate you if you do something good. For example, you help someone in need. Now I remember one of our monks telling us, right, that one day after school, as I remember, he went out into town and he saw, so in Sri Lanka there are people who would take very little money to polish and fix shoes. And they're usually on the street because Sri Lanka is not a very wealthy country, right? So they're usually on the street and they're pretty skinny and probably wearing rags as well. But they'll do it pretty fast. And so I remember him saying that after school he went past one of these people and he decided to go into a shop and buy this guy, I think it was an ice cream or some sort of drink. Right? So he bought it and gave it to him, and literally he sat next to him, next to this shoe polisher, we'll call him, and started drinking with him. So I think it was a drink, most likely. And what he didn't know was a couple of his friends were on the bus, saw this, and took photos and took a video. And the next day when he went to school, all of his friends were like, "Wow, whoa, that was amazing. You're a hero." And he was thinking, what did I do? I don't remember doing anything. And then they showed him the video saying, look here. Look what you did. You helped this poor guy. And so he was praised. So when he was praised, not only did he feel the need to help others more, but also people around him. So people who hear this praise think, I want to hear that praise, and so I'm going to help others as well. Do you not see that praise can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing? See, if you associate the wrong people, praise can be a bad thing as well. We all hear about the negatives of peer pressure, right? Your friends pressuring you to do bad things, right? So you have to conform to what they do, right? To be there, to stay with them, to be their friends. And then when you do it, so for example, or say a couple of your friends, they smoke, right? Cigarettes. Nothing more, right? Just cigarettes, right? Obviously you guys don't do anything more than that, right? Or you don't even do cigarettes, but let's say it is cigarettes, right? Say a couple of your friends do cigarettes and they now force you to do it. They tell you to take a cigarette and they pressure you. And then once you take your first cigarette, then comes praise. Well done. You're now a man now, or you are so grown up. You just had a cigarette. You just smoked a cigarette, and they start praising you, and then you feel good about doing something bad. You feel good about doing something bad, and then you carry on doing it. It becomes a habit. You see, praise can be a good thing and a bad thing. So, make sure you praise people for the right thing. Well, first of all, make sure you do praise. Because if people like praise, then give them praise. Whenever someone does something good, make sure you praise them. Make sure it's pretty much your duty to praise them. So if someone does something good, say someone helps someone else, make sure you praise them. If someone helps another person in need, make sure you praise them. If someone gets, you see, this is something that is very hard to do, but it's very powerful, extremely powerful. Imagine, right? So usually, as I know, right, in my life, me and my friends, we always have competitions, right? It's normal, right? Well, I thought it was normal. Where we always want to get the highest mark in school, the highest. So, especially in our group, right? So, the person who gets the most marks gets the most appreciation, gets the most praise. And so, there was always a competition between all of us. You see, the hardest part is when someone gets more marks than you, to genuinely go and say, well done, without feeling, you know what, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say well done to this person. I don't want to appreciate this person because they passed me. You see, if they do something good, praise them. Be happy for them. Make sure they smile. But let's say, what's worse is, say someone who normally doesn't do well in a test. So normally they don't do as well in a certain test, right? And say one day they beat you in a test. Make sure you praise them. You may feel jealous, but make sure that doesn't stand in your way. Make sure you praise them. Make sure you can make them smile. Keep them smiling. You see, you should give a reason for you to smile, for them to smile. You see, your praise is very powerful. Your smiles are very powerful. They are all very powerful. So make sure with great power comes what? Great responsibility. If your praise and your smiles are so powerful, that means you've got to be very responsible. Of doing what? Not saving the world. Well, yeah, saving the world. By how? Smiling. Spread your smiles. Spread your smiles to one another. Give yourself a reason to smile all the time. Give yourself a reason to smile 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 or 6 days a year. Give yourself a reason to smile. Because we like smiling. We want others to be happy. So let's come back to that point, right? So you like seeing others smile. You like seeing others happy. So do things to make other people happy. And then you in turn, will smile as well. You see, that brings us to the theory of what you give is what you get. And that theory, I would like to talk to you, because that's a very, very interesting topic that I would like to talk next month. So next month, I definitely like to talk about this give, and so what you give is what you get. This theory, so this universal theory that the Buddha has proposed. And so myself and a couple of compadres, a couple of friends, right? We came together and we did an experiment. An experiment to prove this, because, right? There are many theories out there. So we've got the theory of Newton's laws, and we've got Einstein's theories, the relative theories, and all these theories, this theory, that theory, and they all can be proven. So I wanted to prove this theory of what you give is what you get. And so I managed to get a group of people, around 50 or so people, and to do an experiment. So we did like a proper experiment, right? We had our hypothesis, we had a method, and we got the results. And next month, I'll bring all these results together and share it with you. Share the results with you. And I found that experiment very interesting, because I got like an update every 2 months. 2 months? 2 weeks, sorry. I got an update every 2 weeks. And we only did it for a month. Right? And I was actually surprised about the results. So I asked them, right, the positive outcomes, the negative outcomes, right? And I did check, right, before we go into very big details, that they were physically and mentally well, right? And I wasn't, and they gave their full consent, right? And what else? And I definitely told them that they can leave the experiment at any moment possible, right? So it was pretty much a proper experiment, right? To prove this point. So that's something that we'll talk about next time. It's very interesting. So, this give and get, right? What you give is what you get. So forget that. Let's just take that to the side for a moment. So, if you want to smile, smile. Make others smile, and there in turn you will smile as well. A very interesting point, right? Here's the question. Can you smile? Oh wait. Can you be angry at a person, at a happy person? A person who has a smile on their face, someone who's really happy. Can you be angry with them for a long period of time? So let's go back to my example with my friend, right? So he used to smile a lot. I remember once, right? Like he accidentally did something wrong, right? Mistake, and a couple of people started shouting at him, saying, "What are you doing? That's wrong," and dot 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 dot. And they weren't angry for a long time, because I don't know about you, but I can't be angry at someone who is always smiling. So when they were shouting at him, he took all the blame. So he didn't give it to anyone else. He didn't say it wasn't my fault, or it was her, it was him. He didn't say anything. He just smiled and said, "I'm sorry." And I remember this event only happened for like a couple of 5-10 minutes, and that was it. The end, full stop. The next day, all our friends came back together, and it was like nothing happened. But then I also knew another situation where another friend did something wrong, and a couple of people were really angry and shouting. And I remember this was at, I think, year 5 or grade 5, right? For the whole entire year, until grade 6 or year 6, where we go into secondary school, right? Until then, I know people who didn't even talk to that person, just for a simple thing they did. Because she did have a short temper, and she wasn't very nice to be with, but again, that proves the point, right? You can't be angry at someone who's always happy. So, here's the thing. You can change the world. Maybe not the entire world, but at least your world. You have the power to do that. Just like Batman, Superman, Flash, and all these people go around saving the entire world, right? Like Iron Man goes saving all these people and all this, right? You have the power to save your world. You have the power to save your world. So do it. Save your world. Okay, so put your hand up if any of you have the power, the ability to fly, to become invisible. If you're rich and you can afford to have like weapons and a suit. No? If you're an alien and you can shoot lasers out of your eyes. You can have blades coming out of your hands. You can't die, you're immortal. No? How are you supposed to save your world? How are you supposed to save your world? Can you save your world? Yes. You can. By smiling. So simple. You don't need to go and fight bad guys. You don't need to fight all these people. There is no need for fight. Just smile. and see your entire world change. So be happy and spread happiness all around you. And you see, here's the thing. If you don't believe me, if you think everything that I'm saying right now, it's probably not true. I'm saying, okay, it might not be true, right? In your eyes, it may not be true. But before you sweep it on the bed and forget about it, just do one thing for me. Just one. Just try it out until next month. Just try it for just 1 month. I would say just try for a couple of hours, but you won't be able to see the result in a couple of hours, nor days. Maybe in a week or so, you maybe see some results, but not big results. But in a month, I promise you, I guarantee, if you want me to sign somewhere, I'll sign it. Right? Maybe make a contract, I'll sign it. Right? That in a month's time, there'll be a big change. So just for a month, try it out. Try it out for just a month. That's it. And then you can tell me that Sainan said that this doesn't work. What you said here doesn't work. I've tried for a month and it doesn't work. You see, that is what's the best part. That's the best part about this philosophy. That it's all very practical. No matter what. If you can't put it into your lives and make sure that it makes sense, if it doesn't make sense in your life, then you don't accept it. But I'm pretty sure that what I've said right now, although this may not sound like this is a Buddhist concept, trust me, there's a big concept behind all this. Maybe in a future time I'll explain exactly what I said and why this is very important in the Buddhist aspect. This may seem very simple, but it has a big meaning behind all of this. So what I said to you right now is pretty much very simple. Very easy to do and all that. If it's easy to do, then do it. Do it. See, I'm trying to drill this into your head. Do it. If a drill doesn't work, we're going to have to try something else. So, if a drill doesn't work, we'll try, missiling into your head. If that doesn't work, we'll nuke into your head. Because it's practical. I feel that this is very practical. And you will see changes. This may not be deep Buddhism. Like, I'm not talking about the origin of life. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Right? These are not those sort of concepts. But this is a very important concept. And if you don't do this now, the future, the things that we talk about in the future, you may not even understand. Because to learn something, you need... Well, think about it, right? So for pretty much for people who've been to school, right, and learn physics, right? To learn physics, don't you need maths? Without maths, without knowing that 1 + 1 is 2, can you do Pythagoras theorem? Know how to multiply? Without knowing 1 + 1 is 2, can you know how to multiply? If you don't know how to multiply, Don't you know how to use, I don't know, the quadratic equation? If you don't know how to use the quadratic equation, how do you know what theories work? Einstein's theories, Newton's theories, Fleming's theories. You don't. You need the basic first. You need the very basic first. And with the basic, so for all the civil engineers out there, you all know, right, that you need a foundation. Without a foundation, you can't build a house. You need a strong base. Once you have a strong base, you can build a skyscraper on top of it. But if your base is weak, you build a skyscraper, you just need a simple breeze to make it fall down. So first to answer the question that we talked about last month, right? How to solve the problems. You first need a big base. That's step one. Step one is to build the base. Build the foundation. And then we can start off by building the first floor, second floor, third floor. And then when it becomes 224, then we'll be able to build that building. And your skyscraper will be unshakable. Nothing can shake it. Right? Nothing can shake it. And then afterwards, you'll be able to answer that first question. What is the solution? And not only answer the solution, not only answer that problem and find the solution, but the moment you find the solution, problems don't exist anymore. Problems are inexistent. So today we talked about a very, very important concept. It may not seem important, but it is. It may seem like this is what we've learned, like you all know, but it's very important. To smile no matter what. To spread your smile. To make sure everyone around you is happy. Make everyone smile, because your smile is a contagious smile. If you have problems, cover your problems. Don't show it to anyone, and show your smile instead. Make sure your mood doesn't change others. Your bad moods, your moody days, make sure it doesn't make other people's days moody. Just because you have problems doesn't mean you have to snap at others. Imagine living in a world where everyone is smiling, where everyone is happy. That may be impossible, right? It may be impossible, but not the entire world. It's your world. Just make your world happy. So we also talked about not giving other people more problems. Make sure you smile. Make them happy. And we talked about how smiles are very good, right? Good for your health as well. Right? But that's not what's important. What's important is how other people feel. How other people feel about other things. About happiness. Right. So that's going to bring us to the end of this Poya sermon. Right? I hope you'll put this into practice and come back next month with all this in practice. So I can ask any of you, and you can tell me that, so I know that I definitely smiled more this month. I made more people happy this month. Because a change starts with you. You have to change. to become a better person. Right? And so, see, we can use, right? We can use what we have to spread our smiles, right? So if we want to spread smiles, what we can do is, well, I know, again, we're on YouTube, right? And I know this is a live stream, which means we have a chat box there. And we've got comments down below, right? What we can do is to spread our smiles. We can spread our smiles by, think about it, right? How do you make someone happy? By complimenting them, by sharing something funny. And also, this one really right here, right? This one. It's very strange, but it makes everyone happy as well. When something happens that makes you happy, it makes other people happy as well. So what we can do is, in the comments below or in the chat box, anywhere, right? Comment something that made you happy today. Or something that made you really, really happy. Something that is so memorable that at this moment, the moment you remember it, you feel so happy. You feel ecstatic. Because I know for certain, if it makes you happy, it makes me happy. If it makes me happy, it makes person on your left, person on your right, person everywhere happy. Person everywhere? People everywhere happy. It'll make people everywhere happy. So let's use everything we have to make other people happy. So be my guest. There's a comment below, right? Comment something that makes you happy. And also, right? I know that you all live in lives and where you have things, problems, questions you have. You will have a lot of questions. You have many questions. And I invite you, if you have any questions or anything that you would like me to talk about in a future sermon, either put them in the comments below. And when it seems appropriate, I'll answer all the questions to the best I possibly can. Because I know how curious everyone is. Because I used to be a very, very curious person. I had a lot of questions. So I know that you guys also have a lot of questions as well. So use the things that we have to first spread smiles and also answer your questions. So put a comment on something that made you smile today or something that made you really happy, right? And also, if you have any questions or any topics that you'd like me to talk about in the future, it doesn't matter. It can be about anything. Whether, I don't know, any questions you have. Leave a comment and we'll talk about that next time. Okay. So smile, smile, and smile. If the word smile hasn't been instilled in your head right now, like, do something and put that in your head. Make sure you smile. Okay. Let's take a few moments to transfer all the merits we've done to the other day. Because I know this is a Poi day, and especially for people in Sri Lanka, most of you may have observed Seal and done many meritorious deeds, right? And so, transfer them. Give them to others. So let's take a few moments to transfer all the merits we've done and conclude. Let's take a moment to transfer the merits we've all acquired by making offerings to the infinite virtues of Noble Triple Gem, chanting prayers, listening to Dharma, engaging in various meritorious deeds today. First and foremost, let's remind ourselves how incredibly fortunate we are to be in receipt of Lord Buddha's teachings, and with immense gratitude, let's transfer the merits to the Bhikshu Bhikshunis, Upasakas, who since time immemorial have protected and preserved the sublime teaching of the Buddha and passed it down to generations of noble lineage in the form of the Tripitaka, which is thankfully available to us today to study, to understand, to comprehend the Dharma. Let's all take more transfer merits we've all acquired toward the members of Mahasangha present throughout the world, including the chief plates of all the chapters who have dedicated their lives to the noble path, committed themselves to the betterment of all sentient beings. Let us not forget that among them will be the monks and nuns residing in local temples and nunneries, who have always been by his side through thick and thin, come rain or shine. Let us also take more and transfer the merits to Guru Sarananse, as well as all the monks resident in the monastery, as well as the Anagarikas and Nagarikas attached to the monastery. Let's take more and transfer the merits and express our gratitude to those who made great efforts to disseminate teaching of the Buddha, be there by translating these sermons, sharing them out with others, inviting others to join them. May the power of these merits, if any of them have been born in the world of plane, may they redeem themselves in born in the plane. May the power of the merits, may they abstain from the meritorious deeds, fulfill the meritorious deeds, fulfill the noble foot path, and attain Supreme Bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's all take more and transfer merits, all we require to our devotees, friends and monastery, for sake of merits, continue to sustain the Mahasangha. This includes every one of you who have contributed to the construction of the monastery, to those of you who provide the Mahasangha with shelter, alms, robes, medicines, as well as those who provide their know-how, extend their well wishes. May the power of the merits, may they abstain from the meritorious deeds, fulfill the meritorious deeds, fulfill the meritorious deeds, fulfill the noble foot path, and attain Supreme Bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's all take more and transfer merits to our mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, grandparents, uncles, aunts, cousins, nephews, nieces, our elders, friends and acquaintances, employees, and to all those who have been friends, families, acquaintances in this every long journey to samsara, and to all those who have helped us to assist us in any shape or form. May by the power of the merits we've accumulated, may they be healed any physical or mental ailments, may they overcome any obstacles to their spiritual progress, may they abstain from the meritorious deeds, fulfill meritorious deeds, fulfill the noble foot path, and attain Supreme Bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's all transfer merits to the Devas, Brahmas, spirits, demons, primate, Sakra Devas, as well as humans, gods, and deities, who have committed to protect and fulfill the Sambuddha Sasana. Let's also transfer merits to our god and deities, who keep watchful eye over us and keep us out of harm's way. May the power of the merits, may they prosper in divine power and wisdom. May they abstain from the meritorious deeds, fulfill the meritorious deeds, fulfill the noble foot path, and attain the Supreme Bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let's all take more and transfer merits to our ancestors, predeceased us, to all those who have been family, friends, acquaintances in this long journey to samsara, and to all those who have helped us support us in any shape or form. Let's take more and transfer merits. Let's all take more and transfer merits to the members of the armed forces, as well as police force, who have sacrificed their life to protect the peace and harmony of our nation. May all those lost life in war, be their friend or foe, rejoice in the merits required today. Let's all take more and transfer merits to all those lost lives in natural calamities such as tsunamis, earthquakes, landslides, pandemics, reminding ourselves that among them will be those who have been friends, family to us in the long journey to samsara. Let's take more and transfer merits to them. May the power of the merits, if any have been born in the wolf plane, may they redeem themselves in born in the bliss of pain. May by the power of the merits, may they abstain from the meritorious deeds, fulfill the meritorious deeds, fulfill the noble foot path, and attain Supreme Bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Finally, let's all resolve, may the power and blessing of all the merits required today, we be at witness the event of many hundreds of thousands of arhats on this blessed land. And finally, may through all the merits we require today, you and I, and everyone who made the program success, become our Arhat or Arhat main Nuansa. In the very life, in the era of the Gautama Supreme Buddha itself. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May the blessing